I really dove into my addiction, watching porn basically 6 hours a day, just going wild. So I think I have a problem with this. You got two wolves in your body. You got the good wolf and you got a bad wolf. What are you going to feed? The more comfortable you are with being uncomfortable, the more you're going to succeed with this.
Coming to us from our exclusive Reboot implementation program, I'm here with my man Dylan, and I'm really looking forward to learning a little bit more about like the ins and outs of his journey. He's been with us for almost a year, like maybe how long exactly now, give or take?
Well, actually, like this is probably coming up on like 8 months being in this round. I have been in the implementation program for a total of probably like 3 years.
Yeah, you're
So
certainly not a rookie, so I definitely
no.
know the ins and outs of that. But really, before we get to present day, let's really kind of start at the beginning. Like, really, when you were first kind of starting, even before you got officially started, how did you discover the program to begin with?
I was like going through a lot of like hardships in my life, like at that time. Like basically I had a sister who like passed away. And like right after that kind of whole happened, I didn't address that to the fullest of my abilities. So I like hopped into this relationship with this girl. Even though like I had like an active, intimate relationship with this girl, I caught myself just like sneaking around, watching pornography and being secretive about it. And it led to like a lot of problems. And then eventually that relationship didn't work out. And I really dove into my addiction. I just started watching porn basically 6 hours a day, just going wild. So I was like, okay, like I think I have a problem with this. And I didn't really know like if porn addiction was like a realm of addiction. I didn't really know like if it was like a thing. So I started just like doing like little like searches on Google, and I ended up like coming across JK's program, and I started listening to his podcast, started watching his YouTube videos, and I was like, "What? I think I need to take the plunge. I need to go into this." So I actually got some financial help through my parents, and they ended up allowing me to join the program my first time around.
Well, there you go. No, I appreciate, and honestly, there's a lot that I can relate to. And what I am actually particularly curious about is here you are, 6 hours a day, kind of like ups and downs in a particular relationship. What was the moment like when you finally said, like, what, like, if I'm gonna do this thing, like, I'm gonna do this thing? Like, what was the moment like right before you joined the program? Like, what finally kind of like pushed you over the ledge, if you will?
Well, it's funny. It kind of correlates to like my mountain biking, which is weird because during the pandemic, like I was really getting into bikes, and like I went from being kind of like a wuss to being like this like automatically this like weird like thrill seeker type of guy. And I was reading, I was actually funny is I was reading David Goggins' book, Can't Hurt Me. And I, while simultaneously listening to JK's podcast and while simultaneously riding mountain bikes, I was like, but if I can jump my bike and risk getting hurt, then I can risk going and joining a program that I've never done before. So it was kind of like this whole like holistic like journey that I was on without addressing my porn addiction, and then finally just led to me being like, but I'm just going to start cutting out the negativity in my life. What's holding me back? So that's when I decided to just have that talk with my parents and take the jump.
That's dope, man. And here you are, certainly some time later, and I want to really learn more about like what's kind of led you up to kind of like how you're doing, where you're at today. But what have been some of the tools, for example, that you've learned along the way so far?
Well, shout out to our reboot hero too, Chris. He's been really hammering in the dialogue and the whole breaking the cycle. So I think a lot of the tools I use is just the module one stuff. I really like doing the morning routine with feelings exercises, writing out my goals. I started adding gratitude lists, a lot of like meditation, grounding exercises like that. But as in terms of like dealing with the urge or dealing with like my addictive patterns, dialogue has just been golden so far. So yeah,
That's
that's what I've been diving into.
And I could talk a mile a minute about that. Why, out of curiosity, like how has that been so impactful for you?
Because like your addict is a part of you. Like whether you like it or not, it's you. So like yeah, you could separate yourself from you and your thoughts, which is the beauty of dialoguing, but it just seems like you can have a conversation with yourself and just kind of like show a little bit more compassion to yourself in general. It's like, I'm just going to have a sit down with myself and show myself that I'm here for myself. And so that's what's been a big thing, is because in the beginning, it was a lot of self-hatred, a lot of just defeat, a lot of depression, areas like that. So dialoguing just led me to feel better about myself.
That's great, man. I'm really, really happy. That's cool, man. Like I said, love dialoguing. It's remained like number one for me personally. What other tools have you learned so far?
Like tools I've learned?
Yeah.
Well, I think I think the biggest thing was like sitting with my urge. It's like just a simple like, okay, like of course, like you like what we were talking about today. It's like stopping yourself at a 2, right? I was actually able to like separate myself from the fantasy and understand like why like I'm fantasizing or why I'm objectifying or why I'm having an urge, because like at the end of the day, you're running away from something. So I think like just the tool of silence, the tool of sitting still, the not being a reactor, instead of, being a human being, not a human doing. So
I know a thing or two about that, man. That's really, really great. And I'm curious. Well, even before we go too deep down that rabbit hole, that's so powerful. I mean, for guys like us, the present moment can feel like a little weird, particularly if we would act out for reasons like boredom or for like FOMO of some kind, and just wanting to feel like that stimulation, just sitting with the present moment, kind of like no phone, no like music, or no like food, or just like being with yourself just as yourself. It could be tough sometimes, or at least it could feel that way when you're first starting out your reboot journey. And yeah, what do you think about that?
yeah, I mean, honestly, I still have my days. I still have like my days where it's hard to sit with myself, just because they're just like JK's module 1, where like we all have like either stress or unresolved issues that pop up, and that's just a part of being a human. And I think it's just the more comfortable you are with being uncomfortable, like the more you're going to succeed with this. Because I love fighting. I love mountain biking. Like I want to feel that stimuli. I want to like feel alive. But sometimes, man, there's a beauty in sitting still. There's, like George Collins would say. And
No doubt.
so yeah, like I said though, it's sometimes I have my days, and then sometimes I have really good days where I just feel like I don't really need any stimuli, and I could just freaking chill out, hit the bag, whatever, work out, and
Really
have a good day.
dope, man. No, it's so
Yeah.
cool. I'm curious also, what has your experience been like overall with the various group coaching calls?
Dude, oh my gosh, bro. Like the guy who trips me out the most is Dr. Rankin. Like that guy, like a lot of his stuff is so simple. Like that's what's the beauty of it, is like he just like says these things and it's like, duh, I know that. But like the way he lays it out is like, holy crap, dude. Like if I just like thought this way, my life would just be not easier, but it would just be like less stressful. Just be like, wow, like I could fucking like I forget, dude, I need to go back in my journal. But yeah, Dr. Rankin has had some real golden tickets as in terms of like advice, and I could just sit there and listen to that guy all day, dude. I don't know like what that British accent of his.
No, the British accent is so real, man. I shout out to Dr. Rankin, and absolutely like having a guy like that, because it's one thing to like be able to like chunk down information and the skill set to be able to communicate them effectively enough, but another thing who has not only spent years not just like learning about the world of compulsive behaviors, but also someone who practices what he preaches. Very open and just like super, just like, yep, this is where I come from, but this is where I'm at, and this is where you could be, and it's a very compassionate call. So I'm with you on that. That's super cool.
Yeah, then like I need to start attending Milan's calls a lot more, but Milan definitely has some golden things to say too. I mean, like I think in my experience, his tools have been a lot more mental. Like you got to sit there and kind of concentrate on what you're doing a little bit more, and sometimes that's kind of hard for me. Yeah, I think like his are very like he I don't know if he's ever mentioned this to you, but the one tool that he gave me was like imagine emotion as a color, right? Have you ever done that with him?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that one was weird because like at first I was like, okay, this is stupid. Like what the heck is this? And then I started doing it and it's like you notice your thoughts and your emotions like bubbling up to the surface and you're like, what? That feels orange. And I'm gonna make it into a ball and watch it roll off into existence. And you do it after a while. You're like, you feel better. You're like, oh wow, what the heck what was I mad about, or what was I angry about? So yeah, That's like the one thing I picked up from him.
Yeah, no, I've done his circle of excellence exercise as well. But his whole, that's what neural reprogramming is. It's being able to literally like hack into your own brain to like see situations around you and even within you in a brand new way, in a way that helps you let go of things that are no longer serving you easier, more easily, right? So I love Milan's calls too, man. That's really, really cool. So talk to me a little bit about the Facebook community.
Oh, dude, like the Facebook community is great because as a person who struggles with insecurity, you start to realize that like there's people, there's good people. There's like, because sometimes like in my experience through life, like I almost kind of like lost faith in humanity a little bit, as in terms of like you kind of get in your own little hole, you isolate, all you know is your compulsive behavior. So it's like a selfish like darkness that you feel, right? But when you get on the Facebook group, you notice that like, okay, everyone's going through this shit. I'm not alone here, first off. And second of all, like laying out your struggles, being vulnerable, and then like having like a brother like comment on your page and like be like, hey dude, like I understand what you're going through. Like just give you some feedback at least. Especially Andrew Hillman. He's been really helping me out.
Andy, yeah.
Yeah, Andy, sorry. But yeah, he just dropped some bombs like on my post in the Facebook group, and yeah, I can't help but thank him enough for that. But it's also like it's kind of a weird way, like it's like a natural dopamine hit that you get for the day. Like you make a post, you get people commenting on, maybe that's like a validation seeking thing, but I don't know. And you just see people commenting on your page, you're like, oh wow, dude, people kind of care. People give a damn, which is a nice feeling.
That's so real. It's one thing to kind of like do your due diligence as far as like interacting with the community, but yeah, I mean like to get that camaraderie and to get that sort of like community is one of the biggest antidotes to isolation. And that's what the Facebook group has done for me. And of course, you get guys that care, like you said. It's like we all come from different walks of life, different countries, everything. But we're all here to do something about like a behavior that's proven to be unhealthy for us. And like the whole thing is like, yeah, you're here to like, I've said it all the time. It's like you're here to reboot your own mind, improve your own situation for sure. But nobody reboots alone. So
definitely true.
yeah. But in that spirit, man, in that sort of spirit of accountability and camaraderie, like, here's a question that I like to ask. Like, if you were to come in contact with somebody, maybe in your circle or whatever, and they decide to confide in you just about maybe some past compulsive behaviors that they've struggled with or maybe are currently struggling with, having learned what you've learned so far and just experience that you've had up until this point, is there anything that you would want to share with that person or anything you'd say to perhaps encourage that person?
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, I would tell him like, well, I would ask like, do you want to address it? Like, do you actually want to like take a step forward in fixing your problems? Because like, I would probably introduce him to this group because like I've had my struggles with SA meetings, 12-step programs, Christian groups, you name it, and I've done it. So I would recommend him to join the program, obviously here. But I would probably say, dude, like you're not alone. Like you're like we all struggle with some type of form of compulsive behavior. It doesn't have to necessarily be sexual, but just show yourself some compassion, man. You're making a huge step by sharing what you're sharing with me. So I think that's like what we just need more in general is like compassion for other human beings, because we're so stuck in our day-to-day lives that sometimes we don't stop and smell the flower, so to speak, and think that all these people are competition or enemies instead of your fellow human being.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's a reason why we call each other brothers in the group. You know what I mean? It's really practicing that. It's like, in the most ideal of circumstances, it's like, what does the word brother mean to you?
A companion, like a source of accountability and guidance. Yeah, I think it's not like a blood thing. It's like more of like just like an understanding, an intimate moment between two humans.
Yeah. No, I love that, man. And yeah, I mean, that's what brotherhood is all about. We know that family is not always blood, but someone who knows you. It's like someone who's got your best interest at heart and someone who's literally where you go, they go. So that's major, man. So kind of going back to that, someone confiding in you scenario, would you perhaps recommend this program.
Oh yeah, no questions asked, of course. It's funny, like I started like when I first started listening to JK, like I started like freaking like getting pumped up when he was like calling us brothers. It's like yeah, we're freaking brothers, man. Like come on. Yeah, JK, he's a pioneer. That's what I kind of describe him as. He's a pioneer of this whole recovery space. And as we know, we live in a society where this problem is going to keep growing with technology at our fingertips. No questions asked, I would recommend this program.
That's awesome, man. Well, I appreciate you just taking some time, like I said, just sharing a bit of your experience, what you've learned so far, and if this makes it to the YouTube channel or the podcast or whatever, odds are if someone stumbles across this conversation, then odds are pretty high that they're probably looking for a way out themselves from the depths of compulsive behavior, whether it's something they struggled with in the past or maybe they're struggling with right now. And yeah, like someone is just kind of getting their feet wet in the reboot process, or maybe they're even on the fence of like what the next best move should be. Is there anything you would want to, before we say goodbye, is there anything you would want to share with that potential person who might still be having some question marks over their head?
Yeah, I forget who said it, but it's like you got two wolves in your body. You got the good wolf and you got a bad wolf. What are you gonna feed? Are you gonna feed the good wolf, the one who wants you to succeed, which is your essence that we call it, or are you gonna feed the bad wolf, which is your addict? So, and the thing I'll say too is, from my experience, this compulsive behavior, if you have this problem and you acknowledge it, it's not gonna go away on its own. It's one of those things where if you don't take the next leap, then there's a good chance that it could get worse. So just think about it. That's all I have to say.
It is. Dylan,
Yeah.
thank you so much for making time and taking time and sharing your insight, man, and all the continued best to you, bro.